A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. The hardest thing to understand in the world is the income tax. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Morality is of the highest importance, but for us, not for God. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. Student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. You never fail until you stop trying. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. I would rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist and right. Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Three great forces rule the world: stupidity, fear, and greed. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Intelligence is not the ability to store information, but to know where to find it. The only sure way to avoid making mistakes is to have known new ideas. It's strange to be known so universally, and yet be so lonely. Past is dead. Future is uncertain. Present is all you have, so eat, drink, and live merry. Never memorize something that you can look up. Weak people revenge. Strong people forgive. Intelligent people ignore. Mostly it is loss, which teaches us about the worth of things. Reading is thinking with someone else's head, instead of one's own. Health so far outweighs all other blessings of life, that a truly healthy beggar is happier than a sick king. Wealth is like sea water. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. And the same is true of fame. From the point of view of youth, life is an endless future. From the point of view of old age, it is a very short past. Whoever violated trust once, loses it forever. Each person can be completely himself, only while he is alone. Each person can be listened to, but not everyone is worth talking to. The first 40 years of life give us the text. The next 30 supply the commentary on it. Life is a constant process of dying. Ordinary people merely think how they shall spend their time. A man of talent tries to use it. To get married means to halve your rights and double your responsibilities. Living happily means living less unhappy. Sociability of people is not based love for society, but on the fear of loneliness. It is better to find your mind in silence than in conversation. Life swings like a pendulum, backward and forward between pain and boredom. He who does not like loneliness does not like freedom. Compassion for animals is so closely related to kindness of character that it is safe to say that he who is cruel to animals cannot be a kind person. You should be careful not to form a very favorable opinion about a person at first acquaintance. Otherwise, in most cases, you will have to be disappointed. Intellect is invisible to the man who has known. A sense of humor is the only divine quality of man. He who has lost all hope has also lost all fear. Treat a work of art like a prince. Let it speak to you first. Fate shuffles the card, and we play. Almost all of our sorrows spring out of our relations with other people. A fool chases pleasure and finds disappointment. A sage only avoids grief. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. We rarely think about what we have, but we always worry about what we don't have. Compassion is the basis of morality. Such is the lot of great people in the world. They are only recognized when they are not alive. One should use common words to say uncommon things. Happiness consists in frequent repetition of pleasure. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. The person who writes for fool is always sure of a large audience. Nine-tenths of our happiness depends on health. We can regard our life as a uselessly disturbing episode in the blissful repose of nothingness. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. If we were not also interested in ourselves, life would be so uninteresting that none of us would be able to endure it. Great men are like eagles and build their nest on some lofty solitude. The safest way of not being very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. No rose without a thorn, but many a thorn without rose. Change alone is eternal, perpetual, immortal. Hope is the confusion of the desire for a thing with its probability. Men are devils of the earth, and the animals are the tormented souls. Faith is like love. It does not let itself be forced. In action, a great heart is the chief qualification. In work, a great head. If they are gossip about you, it means that you are enough not only for yourself, but also for others. Men are, by nature, merely indifferent to one another, but women are, by nature, enemies. Don't tell your friend what your enemy shouldn't know. Most of time, people take advantage of you when saying you're better at something than they are. Hatred is an affair of the heart, contempt that of the head. To free a person from error is to give and not to take away. Wicked thoughts and worthless efforts gradually set their mark on the face, especially the eyes. The doctor sees all the weakness of mankind, the lawyer all the wickedness, the theologian all the stupidity. Journalists are like dogs. Whenever anything moves, they begin to bark. Satisfaction consists in freedom from pain, which is the positive element of life. To read the thoughts of others is like taking the remains of someone else's meal, like putting on the discarded clothes of a stranger. Honor has not to be won. It must only not be lost. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. The change must begin with one individual. It might be any one of us. Nobody can afford to look around and to wait for somebody else to do what he is loath to do himself. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Most people consider themselves very knowledgeable in psychology for one simple reason. Psychology for them comes down to what they know about themselves. Where your fear is, there is your task. Don't rush to help those who haven't asked you to, because not everyone who is drowning needs a hand, someone to drown. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. If an attractive woman is single, it's because she's smarter than everyone else. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. Don't hold on to someone who's leaving, otherwise you won't meet the one who's coming. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. Children learn by an adult's example, not by their words. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Where wisdom resides, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Depression is like a woman in black. If she turns up, don't shoo her away. Invite her in, offer her a seat, treat her like a guest, and listen to what she wants to say. For better to come, good must stand aside. In each of us, there is another whom we do not know. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. What we walk away from, shying away from, ostensibly forgetting, is dangerously close to us, and eventually it will return, but with redoubled force. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. Man can endure the hardest trials if he sees meaning in them. The whole difficulty lies in creating that meaning. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. The greatest stand, most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved, but only outgrown. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The soul needs your recklessness, not your wisdom. Shrinking away from death is something unhealthy and abnormal, which robs the second half of life of its purpose. Loneliness does not come from having no people about one, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views, which others find inadmissible. Man cannot stand a meaningless life. He who is afraid needs dependence, as a weakened man needs support. Woe to those who live by examples. There is no life in them. If you live by example, you live the life of that example. But who will live your life but yourself? So live your own life. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. If you are a gifted person, it doesn't mean you got something. It means you can give something away. People grow like plants, some in light, others in shade. There are many who need shade, not light. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. We are born at a given moment, in a given place, and like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year, and of the season in which we are born. Midlife is the time to let go of an over-dominant ego and to contemplate the deeper significance of human existence. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. A love is like a serious illness, an illness from which you never entirely recover. If you get married, they think you're finished, and if you are without a woman, they think you're incomplete. Drinking is an emotional thing. It joggles you out of the standardism of everyday life, out of everything being the same. If you have the ability to love, love yourself first. Love is a form of prejudice. You love what you need. You love what makes you feel good. You love what is convenient. The 9-to-5 is one of the greatest atrocities sprung upon mankind. You give your life away to a function that doesn't interest you. As long as a man has wine and cigarettes, he can endure a lot. Your ambition is handicapped by laziness. Never say 3 things about yourself: your plans, your income, and the number of people you've slept with. We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. Some people like what you do. Some people hate what you do. But most people simply don't give a damn. Genius might be the ability to say a profound thing in a simple way. The woman who smiles at you when you meet her is most likely just planning to feed her ego. There are only two things wrong with money: too much or too little. I often carry things to read, so that I will not have to look at the people. We don't even ask for happiness, just a little less pain. Great art is horse shit. Buy tacos. Love is all right for those who can handle the psychic overload. It's like trying to carry a full garbage can on your back over a rushing river of piss. Too often the people complain that they have done nothing with their lives, and then they wait for somebody to tell them that this isn't so. Almost everybody is born a genius and buried an idiot. Beauty is nothing. Beauty won't stay. You don't know how lucky you are to be ugly, because if people like you, you know it's for something else. People are strange. They are constantly angered by trivial things, but on a major matter, like totally wasting their lives, they hardly seem to notice. If you manage to deceive a person, this does not mean that he is a fool. It means that you were trusted more than you deserve it. Of course, it's possible to love a human being if you don't know them too well. Sex is a great thing, only when there is nothing else to do. Real loneliness is not necessarily limited to when you are alone. The free soul is rare, but you know it when you see it. Basically because you feel good, very good, when you are near or with them. There is always one woman to save you from another, and as that woman saves you, she makes ready to destroy. Life's as kind as you let it be. Nothing is worse than to finish a good shit, then reach over and find the toilet paper container empty. Even the most horrible human being on earth deserves to wipe his ass. Nobody can save you but yourself, and you're worth saving. It's a war not easily won, but if anything is worth winning, then this is it. Bad taste creates many more millionaires than good taste. You have to die a few times before you can really live. Sometimes you climb out of bed in the morning and you think, I'm not going to make it, but you laugh inside, remembering all the times you've felt that way. We are like roses that have never bothered to bloom when we should have bloomed, and it is as if the sun has become disgusted with waiting. People run from rain, but sit in bathtubs full of water. Some moments are nice, some are nicer, some are even worth writing about. The only time most people think about injustice is when it happens to them. You begin saving the world by saving one man at a time. All else is grandiose romanticism or politics. Dogs and angels are not very far apart. How can you trust a creature that bleeds every month and doesn't die? Find what you love and let it kill you. There are times when those eyes inside your brain stare back at you. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire. As humans, we adjust to new conditions and discoveries. We are pliable. There is loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in the slow movement of a clock's hand. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead. If you are going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is that in a democracy you vote first and take orders later. In a dictatorship, you don't have to waste your time voting. I have always liked visiting women myself, more than when they are visiting me. You can always get away from them. If you're losing your soul, and you know it, then you've still got a soul left to lose. The shortest distance between 2 points is often unbearable. Ambition rarely helps talent. Another thing is luck. Talent always trails behind her. The less you need, the better you feel. You are not promised anything in life. No contract was signed with you. We must bring our own light to the darkness. The only time a man needed a lot of women was when none of them were any good. Any asshole can chase a skirt. Art takes discipline. Beware of those who seek constant crowds. They are nothing alone. An intellectual says a simple thing in a hard way. An artist says a hard thing in a simple way. Without literature, life is hell.
Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. It is not fair to ask of others what you are not willing to do yourself. With the new day comes new strength and new thoughts. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life and be without flavor. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. You must do the things you think you cannot do. Freedom makes a huge requirement of every human being. With freedom comes responsibility. For the person who is unwilling to grow up, the person who does not want to carry his own weight, this is a frightening prospect. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. Remember always that you not only have the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. Happiness is not a goal. It is a byproduct. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. You'll be damned if you do, and damned if you don't. The giving of love is an education in itself. In the long run, we shape our lives, and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die. And the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with courage and with the best that you have to give. People grow through experience if they meet life honestly and courageously. This is how character is built. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness that you are able to give. We are afraid to care too much for fear that the other person does not care at all. Justice cannot be for one side alone, but must be for both. When life is too easy for us, we must beware, or we may not be ready to meet the blows which sooner or later come to everyone, rich or poor. Understanding is a two-way street. Life must be lived, and curiosity kept alive. One must never, for whatever reason, turn his back on life. Autobiographies are only useful as the lives you read about and analyze may suggest to you something that you may find useful in your own journey through life. Friendship with oneself is all important, because without it, one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes. And the choices we make are ultimately our responsibility. It is not more vacation we need, it is more vocation. Perhaps nature is our best assurance of immortality. You can never really live anyone else's life, not even your child's. The influence you exert is through your own life, and what you've become yourself. When will our consciences grow so tender that we will act to prevent human misery rather than avenge it? When you cease to make a contribution, you begin to die. Only a man's character is the real criterion of worth. Have convictions. Be friendly. Stick to your beliefs as they stick to theirs. Work as hard as they do. Old age has deformities enough of its own. It should never add to them the deformity of vice. There are practical little things in housekeeping which no man really understands. The only advantage of not being too good a housekeeper is that your guests are so pleased to feel how very much better they are. What you don't do can be a destructive force. What one has to do usually can be done. Ambition is pitiless. Any merit that it cannot use, it finds despicable. Hate and force cannot be in just a part of the world without having an effect on the rest of it. The only things one can admire at length are those one admires without knowing why. The battle for the individual rights of women is one of long standing, and none of us should countenance anything which undermines it. As for accomplishments, I just did what I had to do as things came along. Anyone who thinks must think of the next war as they would of suicide. The mother of a family should look upon her housekeeping and the planning of meals as a scientific occupation. Actors are one family over the entire world.
who has many women, knows women. Who has one wife, knows loves. It is very queer that the unhappiness of the world is so often brought on by small men. How senseless is everything that can ever be written, done, or thought when such things are possible. We were all at once terribly alone, and alone we must see it through. No one could become stranger than the person you once loved. Only a complete idiot would argue with a woman and appeal to her logic. Never do anything complicated when something simple will serve as well. It's one of the most important secrets of living. Sometimes I used to think that one day I should wake up and all that had been would be over. Forgotten, sunk, drowned. Nothing was sure, not even memory. To forget is the secret of eternal youth. One grows old only through memory. There's much too little forgetting. Modesty and conscientiousness receive their reward only in novels. In life, they are exploited and then shoved aside. Everyone saves someone at least once, just as he kills someone at least once, even though he may not know it. We are forlorn like children and experienced like old men. We are crude and sorrowful and superficial. I believe we are lost. If a woman saves money on herself, it means that it makes men want to save money on her. I want to think, and at the same time, that's the last thing in the world I want to do. Being in love is when you want to get old with someone. Love should not be polluted with friendship. A woman becomes smarter when she is in love, whereas a man loses his mind. It's only terrible to have nothing to wait for. It is a mistake to assume that all people have the same ability to feel. A person can become close to you in 3 days, and the one who lives near you for years may never know what your favorite color is. A man only begins to be valued when he is no longer there. A woman should not tell a man that she loves him. Let her shining, happy eyes speak about this. They are more eloquent than any words. We have so much to say, and we shall never say it. There is nothing more tiring than to attend how a person demonstrates his mind, in particular, if there is no mind. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs to in a museum. Not always sorry for the one who is wrong, asking forgiveness of the one who values the relations. Life is a disease, brother, and death begins already at birth. Every breath, every heartbeat is a moment of dying a little shove toward the end. You may turn into an archangel, a fool, or a criminal. No one will see it. But when a button is missing, everyone sees that. If a woman belongs to another man, she is 5 times more desirable than the one you can easily get. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. But man is not made for defeat. A man can be destroyed, but not defeated. Always do sober what you said you'd do drunk. That will teach you to keep your mouth shut. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places. If a man isn't looking for friends, then he is his own enemy. Never go on trips with anyone you do not love. I like to listen. I have learned a great deal from listening carefully. Most people never listen. An intelligent man is sometimes forced to be drunk, to spend time with his fools. When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. Never think that war, no matter how necessary, nor how justified, is not a crime. There isn't always an explanation for everything. We are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. All good books have one thing in common. They are truer than if they had really happened. The shortest answer is doing the thing. Fear of death increases in exact proportion to increase in wealth. America is the land of wide lawns and narrow minds. Everybody behave badly, given the chance. We wait always for something that does not come. We all are broken. That's how the light gets in. The one who forgave the betrayal is waiting for a new betrayal. Love is infinitely more endurable than hate. The human being is the only animal that can laugh, even though he has least occasions for that. Life isn't hard to manage when you've nothing to lose. Be afraid of a friend who often says flattery to you. To flatter means to tell a person exactly what he thinks about himself. Wine is a grand thing. It makes you forget all the bad. If you don't have obvious enemies, then they are hiding among your friends. Why should anybody be interested in some old man who was a failure? Cowardice is almost always simply a lack of ability to suspend functioning of the imagination. All thinking men are atheists. Work every day, no matter what has happened the day or night before. Get up and bite on the nail. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. You can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another. In order to write about life, first you must live it. Worry a little bit every day, and in a lifetime you will lose a couple of years. If something is wrong, fix it if you can. But train yourself not to worry. Worry never fixes anything. There are so many women with whom you can sleep, and so few women with whom you can talk. Prose is architecture, not interior decoration. Courage is grace under pressure. What is moral is what you feel good after, and what is immoral is what you feel bad after. Young people these days don't trust anything at all. They want to be free. You have to dream intentionally. Most people dream a dream when they are asleep. But to be a writer, you have to dream while you are awake, intentionally. If you cannot concentrate, you are not so happy. A thing that carries a certain imperfection in itself attracts precisely its imperfection. The most important thing is not the big one that others have thought of, but the little thing that you yourself came to. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what this storm's all about. In everybody's life, there's a point of no return. And in a very few cases, a point where you can't go forward anymore. And when we reach that point, all we can do is quietly accept the fact. That's how we survive. Chance encounters are what keep us going. Taking crazy things seriously is a serious waste of time. Many people, especially young people, would like to be more independent and on their own. But it is very difficult, and they suffer from feelings of isolation. I think that is one reason why young readers support my work. If you want to talk about something new, you have to make up a new kind of language. If you can love someone with your whole heart, even one person, then there's salvation in life. Even if you can't get together with that person. Everything passes. Nobody gets anything for keeps. And that's how we've got to live. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Only assholes do that. Nobody likes being alone that much. I don't go out of my way to make friends. That's all. It just leads to disappointment. If you only read the books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking. Faith and doubt go hand in hand. They are complementaries. One who never doubts will never truly believe. Some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes it is letting go. To achieve the possible, we must attempt the impossible again and again. Words do not express thoughts very well. They always become a little different immediately after they are expressed, a little distorted, a little foolish. So think more and talk less. Everyone can reach his goal if he can think, dream, and wait. Lack of friends is a sign that a man has many hobbies as well as time. Chaos demands to be recognized and experienced before letting itself be converted into a new order. Youth ends when egotism does. Maturity begins when one lives for others. Those who are too lazy and comfortable to think for themselves and be their own judges obey the laws. Others sense their own laws within them. No one marries for the sake of having children. However, when a person has children, they will force him to change, and in the end he will see that everything was done only for them. Theory is knowledge. That doesn't work. Practice is when everything works and you don't know why. It is not our purpose to become each other. It is to recognize each other, to learn to see the other, and honor him for what he is. When you like someone, you like them in spite of their faults. When you love someone, you love them with their faults. Every politician in the world is all for revolution, reason, and disarmament, but only in enemy countries, not in his own. Loneliness is the way by which destiny endeavors to lead man to himself. Man is an onion, consisting of hundreds of skins, a fabric consisting of many threads. Fate and character are different names for the same idea. Seeking means to have a goal, but finding means to be free, to be receptive, to have no goal. Only the thoughts that we live have value. We can understand one another, but each of us can only interpret ourselves. A house without love is a po house, even if beautiful rugs are covering its floors, and precious wallpapers and pictures cover its wall. You should not make a gift for yourself. You are too expensive. You must be one. You are only afraid if you are not in harmony with yourself. Those who cannot think or take responsibility for themselves need and clamor for a leader. Happiness is a how, not a what, a talent, not an object. What many people call passion is not spiritual force, but friction between the soul and the outside world. The true profession of a man is to find his way to himself. Study from yourself, be your own teacher and your own student. Solitude is independence. If we can make a person happier and more cheerful, we should do it anyway, whether he asks us to or not. People with courage and character always seem sinister to the rest. Everything becomes a little different as soon as it is spoken out loud. One never reaches home, but wherever friendly paths intersect, the whole world looks like home for a time. Opinions mean nothing. They may be beautiful or ugly, clever or foolish. Anyone can embrace or reject them. You must find your dream, no matter how old you may be, then the way becomes easy. Seriousness is an accident of time. It consists of putting too high a value on time. In eternity, there is no time. Eternity is a moment, just long enough for a joke. The deity is within you, not in ideas and books. Truth is lived, not taught. Each man's life represents a road toward himself, an attempt at such a road, the intimation of a path. No man has ever been entirely and completely himself. In every truth, the opposite is equally true. A truth can only be expressed and enveloped in words if it is one-sided. All higher humor begins with ceasing to take oneself seriously. Writing is good, thinking is better. Cleverness is good, patience is better. When dealing with the insane, the best method is to pretend to be sane. You are only afraid if you are not in harmony with yourself. People are afraid because they have never owned up to themselves. Wisdom is nothing but a preparation of the soul, a capacity, a secret art of thinking, feeling and breathing thoughts of unity at every moment of life. Truth is lived, not taught. If a man has nothing to eat, fasting is the most intelligent thing he can do. Within us there is someone who knows everything, wills everything, does everything better than we ourselves. All men are prepared to accomplish the incredible if their ideals are threatened. Love of God is not always the same as love of good. Meaning and reality were not hidden somewhere behind things. They were in them, in all of them. What you search is not necessarily the same as what you find. When you let go of the searching, you start finding. Love can be bought, given gifts, discovered on the street, but it cannot be torn by force. It was fortunate that love did not need words, or else it would be full of misunderstanding and foolishness. Youth is the most difficult time of life. For example, suicide rarely occurs amongst old people. Love between young people and love after many years of marriage is not the same thing. A friendship founded on business is better than a business founded on friendship.